Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you are brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And this is another build in Oasis Springs, and it is called the Dash and Go Diner. I can't think of a better name. If you guys have name suggestions, please let me know because this will be part of my save file. But we are in Oasis Springs and this is going to be the next world that I am working on for my save. And I have just been really drawn to building here lately. I really don't know what it is. The only rationale that I can think of is that I am craving warmer weather because it feels as though winter has dragged on for like 2 years already. And at this point, I don't leave the house too much with everything going on, so I don't spend a lot of time outside, which I should probably prioritize a bit more. But maybe I'm just kind of craving warm weather, and Oasis Springs is probably pretty warm, so maybe I'm just going to the extreme. I don't know. But I'm really enjoying it because I also really like the mid-century kind of vibe that is throughout Oasis Springs, as well as the Mediterranean styles and architecture and stuff like that. So this little strip, this is actually where I think the solar flame was, which I think was a lounge. We just got rid of that, bulldozed that like it was no one's business because we don't need that. It was a weird looking building. It was like really futuristic. It kind of looked, I don't know, it kind of reflected what the gym looks like next door. And you guys are probably also seeing flashes of the lot to the left, which is a community pool that I built. So I definitely just drew your eye to it if you weren't noticing it already, which means that you're probably trying to like steal some like peeks at it. And that'll still be a surprise for whenever this portion of my save is complete. So there's no speed build for that one, but I was building in my save, so I couldn't really like avoid you guys seeing that, so it's over there. But this is actually a diner, so it is a restaurant. It was originally going to be just a bar. I was thinking it was going to be like a cantina or something. However, the style that I was going for something like a cantina just didn't fit in with the style that I was trying to emulate here in this kind of district, I suppose, in this neighborhood of Oasis Springs. So it ended up kind of just being like a mid-century, like 50s, 60s diner. I don't know. I thought it was really cool and it was really fun to build. I used a lot of debug objects yet again, which I absolutely love doing. And this is a really colorful build. You may think that it's a little bit colorful on the outside now, but the inside is so much more vibrant and I really, really like it. I even put in the effort to make a parking lot in this because it seemed as though it fit appropriately to ensure that that was kind of reflected, that this was maybe the, I don't know, the restaurant or diner of choice for everyone in Oasis Springs. Maybe it's been here for a long time. It used to be something else. I don't know. And this neighborhood is the more so, I suppose, the community lot neighborhood. So kind of like how Willow Creek has a strip of community lots. The same is reflected in Oasis Springs, and I just kind of maintain that. So that's my goal. So this was like a restaurant slash bar because restaurants can have a bar and a bartender will show up. So there is at least a bar here. I think it mainly functions as a bar, to be honest, even though there is the diner portion. I think there are more tables on the outside where the bar ends up being than there are on the inside. So I don't know. Of course, you don't have any control over it. If your Sims end up like buying this restaurant, if you download it and they're running it, people are just going to come in and sit, and most likely it's going to be for the restaurant functionality compared to the bar functionality. I mean, you could always run it as a bar as well, but then the inside isn't extremely useful because I don't believe you'll have a chef show up to prepare any food, right? That's what I'm thinking. So it really depends on how you want to do it. But as you can see, things just got a little bit brighter too. So in between recording these different portions of the build, I got my reshade to work. I was having trouble with it for the 100 baby challenge. It probably looked a little dim because I was not able to actually get my reshade working, and I finally got it to work. So now it is working. I got it to be extremely vibrant, and this is using, again, Hey Harry's Light Brigade preset. However, I did make some tweaks. So we're on the outside here and it's really bright. And then when we go on the inside, I make more tweaks to it in between recordings. So it becomes a little less overpowering because I ended up turning on the Technicolor edit. I don't know if that's the appropriate word, but there's like this box you can check off as one of the things, and it's Technicolor, and that is pretty much what brought this to life. I'm not really sure. It could just be the monitor I'm using too. I have a whole new setup and I'm still trying to like work out the kinks. As for recording and voiceover and editing, I can do all that stuff, but in regards to how it looks and just tweaking it to the exact way that I like it, it might still take a little bit more time. So things become a little less vibrant once we get onto the interior, because I think what really triggered it for me was looking at the dirt here, and it's basically like bright, vibrant neon orange. Like I'm not about that. That's a little too bright for me. But here is the outside bar area. So I did use the bar from Strangerville because I was thinking this is more of kind of like I said, a diner, right? So maybe it was a little bit more casual and not really run down, but like it looks as though the license plates and street signs were collected there. And that just made sense to me. And then I put some of these dining tables outside with the little umbrellas. And like I said, it's getting real colorful real quick. And I use these debug fences. They're kind of like these stone fences, and I sized them down, I think once, maybe twice in some areas, just to ensure that everything lined up with the space that I was kind of working with. And I just really liked how they looked. They're a little bit darker in contrast to the rest of the build itself. However, I was looking for, I don't know, a new fence. I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I think this was one of the debug fences that you can find in the world of Oasis Springs. So I thought it worked. And then I also used these planters, I suppose. They kind of look like planter boxes. And I did this trick in my Desert Bloom Park build as well, where I put those planter boxes there and then sized up one of our cacti decorative plants and just kind of plopped them in there as some like desert decoration, because I didn't want to put the palm trees there. When you size them down to the point that they really fit in those boxes and kind of looked okay in the backyard, I guess, this back portion of the build, it just looked so funny. They looked so not proportional, so I ended up not keeping any palm trees there, but I put them in other places of the build, as you can see. And then I realized it was still set as a museum, and I was like, wait, what do I need for a restaurant? Definitely need the waiter sections there, or the waiter stations, I think is what they are. And then there are, of course, the hostess station inside. I was going to put two of them. That's why that sentence sounded a little weird. I thought I'd put two, but I didn't. I also made my own checkered floor with two of the different tiles that we have. I tried the tile that we have that basically is blue and white. I think it's just way too small, so it was almost too busy, if that makes sense. Like, it was just a little too much, a little too overpowering. So I wanted to make sure that it wasn't as bold, because I wanted to use a lot of color in this build. And with it being so small and having there being a pattern on the wall, it seemed way too much. And I also used this paneling from Bowling Night stuff. I probably never say the pack names correctly, by the way, but it's like the bowling stuff that we have, just so you know. But yeah, so it was really, really cool. I thought it came out really nicely. And even though I use a lot of color in my builds, I was a little hesitant with the amount of color that I was using here. Because, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of color. I didn't really think it was going to pull together okay. And as I was toying around with reshade, I couldn't even tell sometimes if it was as vibrant as I was going for. As you can see, it looks a little muted now compared to outside, right? Like, I really, really had to play around with it a lot. It was hard to figure out, but it all came together really nicely in the end, at least in my opinion, and I hope that you guys enjoy this one too. So what I first wanted to do is ensure that there were like diner counters. So I don't do this a lot in my restaurants, and I kind of want to do this more. I think I did it a little bit in my last restaurant, which was the Leafery, and that was in Willow Creek, but it was mainly the bar area. It wasn't a dining area. So I was trying to think of, how do I set these freaking tables up inside the restaurant? Like, what do I do? How am I going to place them? Because this is a reasonably small restaurant. And of course there had to be the section where, like the kitchen, where they prepare the food, right? So I did want to make sure that I had enough tables. So I put the 2 tables in the window on the right side, and I do the same on the left side. It's already 4 tables with at least 2 seats for customers. So that made me really happy. And then I end up getting 2 more dining tables, and I believe a corner booth as well. So there's only 1 booth, which personally, I would be going after the booth because I don't like sitting in the middle of restaurants or anything like that. I feel like super vulnerable. Does anyone else feel that way? I feel super vulnerable. I feel like I have to like watch every side of me for either like wait staff or just other people walking by. I don't know. I just feel really exposed. So I usually go for like corner seats or a seat where my back is to the wall. Is that weird? I don't know if it's weird. So if you do that too, just let me know, because I definitely do that and I feel like it's weird. But at the same time, I've met so many people that feel the same, which is why like when I go into a restaurant and I see people sitting in the middle, I honestly eyeball them and I'm like, you brave soul. Like, what you doing? What actually gave you the courage to sit in the middle amongst everyone? Like that's always my question. And now I've situated the dining tables and I was trying to just pick out a bunch of decorations because I wanted them to be colorful. I tried to tie in as much neon as I possibly could, and I just wanted it to be really fun and kind of random and unique and weird and quirky, and I was able to achieve that, I think, with the wall nearest the kitchen, but it was kind of hard, I felt like, to find the rest of the decorations that I ended up using. And in watching this footage back, there were a few decorations that I feel as though I kind of missed out on that I should have used. So maybe for my save file, I'm going to go back and really ensure that I have everything in there that I want. However, at the same time, it's really colorful, it is really lively, and I do like it the way it is as well. So I might not make any edits. And of course, if you guys download this build, you can make whatever edits you would like, and hopefully you enjoy it as is, but also make it your own. I always feel like, I don't know why, I feel like I have to give permission, and that's the weirdest thing in the world. But know that if you download these builds, like, do your thing. This is just what I envision, but I love seeing when you guys actually make edits to my builds or like add certain things that maybe I hadn't thought of, because I'm only one person. I don't think of everything. And I'm also not the most creative person. Some of you guys are absolutely insanely creative. So I love seeing your spin on things as well. So I don't know why, I just want to toss that out there. But now I'm kind of working out some signage and some other things that are kind of going around this kitchen area. And the kitchen area ends up being pretty standard. Like, there's nothing exciting in there at all. I put the menu basically below the little like serving counter there. I also placed a menu outside, which I was thinking was the bar menu, so the actual drink menu. And within the kitchen, there's just a few countertops and a sink, and I really don't decorate it that much because I really just didn't want to overclutter it. It's a small area to begin with, so when I thought about it, I was like, that might be a little much. I don't want my Sims to feel claustrophobic. And, you know, just thinking about my Sims' feelings already goes to show how empathetic I can be to fake people. So that's cool. But also, I need you guys to know it's like really early in the morning right now as I'm recording this, and I just had my coffee, so I'm just going with it. This voiceover is fueled by caffeine, which is just beautiful. But now I'm adding some overhead lights, and that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this build, and I'll catch you next time I post a video. Bye!
Walk me in the morning sun. Tell me I'm the lucky one. I'm riding on the wave of a notion that I could be brave. Is there anything good on the radio? Turn it up loud and let me know how it used to be before anyone heard of you and me. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great. Running out of town just to celebrate. The fortune's here to stay. A one-way ticket to a better day. A rocking chair and a glass of wine in the shade of a tree.